Show us your tips. Daggy Beaver with you for midweek racing from both Hawkesbury and Ballarat to look at this afternoon. A surprisingly good card at Hawkesbury, actually, Beaver.
Yeah, not bad card there for, I guess you'd expect it to be fairly decent being a Wednesday's racing. And as you know, the Hawkesbury track always throws up something. So we'll see how we go today.
Yeah, for the record, I'll preface these tips from the fact that I don't bet at Hawkesbury because it is well and truly been a graveyard for yours truly. But that all being said, pretty good day of racing on the weekend. The rain, we've got much more rain than I thought we were going to get, but still entertaining enough. Some nice results amidst some knockouts, but what'd you make of all that?
Lots of knockouts. Oh, mate, it was, for the general punter, probably a fairly disastrous day, I guess. It was really hard to, there was lots of sort of knockout winners and really hard to find, and the track just turned everything upside down in the conditions there. So it's pretty hard to get a line on some of our tips given the change in conditions from when we gave the tips to race day. But a nice win by Mr. Brightside. Beaver was did you leg everyone up on that one? So that was a nice one.
And I did make the case for Militarise that would run an improved race, and I had a nice result on the race. So there's something. For me, anyway. But, all the 3-year-olds were actually quite disappointing in that Doncaster, and I think the first three home all came out of the All-Star Mile, so probably something to be said for those younger horses. But whatever that means, I wish our win was fantastic round the bend. And the other one, I guess we'll stick the flag to a bit, is we both made a case for Waltz on By at 20s. I think it jumped around $7 and won pretty easily.
Yeah, got the run of the race, and it's a good win.
Anyway, we move on. We've got day 2 coming up this week, the clash of Animo and Dubai Honour. So we'll talk about all of that perhaps tomorrow night. But we've got Hawkesbury to look at first, which is on a heavy track. The rails in the 5 metre from the 1100 to the 450, 3 metres from there to the winning post, and the rest is true. We probably don't want to be too far from the fence, but who knows sometimes here. We kick off with the babies over the 1,300 metres, and what do you like in the first?
Yeah, look, it was hard to get a guide on these, but I stuck with the favourite Californian just on the basis that one start, one win will have benefited from that and did win at Hawkesbury at its only tilt. And so given it's one win from one start and that at the track, going to suggest it's going to be hardest to beat again.
I like the blue colours here. I like the debut of Zardozi, cut along the rail and has a nice turn of foot there. With the scratching, sits close, and I think Mightly's going to be hard to beat here. But with the smaller field, I do understand Californian's going to run probably well, and Icebreaker will lead this up now, and be the horse got to get past. But Zardozi on top for me, just going to take on the favourite. Did beat the older horses too, Californian on debut, so another tick in your box there, Beaver. The second is a mile maiden, where, what am I doing here? I've got Beautiful Heart on top, and would be clearly so if it was a dry track. Nice return at Kembla. Did some nice stuff last prep. My concern is, I think it's a sister to Hungry Heart, who didn't go at all in the wet. A lot of time there with her, so the wet is the only concern. If she handles the track, I think she'll just win this. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think you're right. If handles the track, we'll win this. I think the $3 odd is not a bad price at the moment. All 4 career starts have been on soft to heavy going and has ran 3 placings. So hoping that this track is going to be good enough for it to put its best foot forward here. But this is a pretty ordinary field.
Yeah. 1,400 metre benchmark 88 is up next, and interesting little clash here. I have Alcyone on top, back to midweek grade from basically spent its whole life in group and high-level Saturday races, coming off 2 nice trials, resumes here, gets a pretty good posse in this race, and if we're going to see it win again, I would hope today's the day. Scared of the Import Rogue Bear, and I also think this Sailor, who's resuming in Sydney the first time, has ability. Has trolled up again. It did some nice stuff in Queensland, as you know, and there was some nice wins against reasonable horses. And I have it as the main danger to the favourite here. But going that way 2 from 7, what are you thinking?
Good call out. I've gone for Sailor on top. I thought its form up north was pretty good and comes to first start here. I think the distance first up suits, and I think horses like Alcyone, well, fresh, probably looking for a little bit further, and Sailor gets the pull in the weights, and I think it can run a big race at the price.
The fourth is the 4-year-old and up mares, 1100 metre benchmark 72. We've lost a couple this morning. What are you thinking in this race, though?
Yeah, I've gone for more the merrier here.
Yep.
Best form has been on soft going, although it's won some races on good as well. Thought last start was pretty good, led and gave a good start in that benchmark 72. I think it can run well here. 2 kilo claim, sit on pace and hard to catch.
I'm going to follow your lead largely here. The horse that I sort of went looking for was Capistel, resuming back in grade, fresh. I thought it was an interesting setup here. Josh Parr might try and even get a bit further forward, but I have no confidence and don't particularly like the race beyond that, to be honest. The fifth is a mile benchmark 72. We're just looking through scratchings again. I have gone with Walla and Walla. I think Pungo, that race bypassed everyone last time. I think there with it. Joe Moreira might have a nice day, first time to Hawkesbury. A bit of experience for him. Hopefully can posse him up a bit better. We know he gets through the wet ground with his balance quite well. I think runs well. From pretty amazing, hit the line well. That Louvois was often gone there. And Jupiter's third. So, yeah, I've gone the Waller trifecta there, but so was the market, so I'm not really telling you much. What are you thinking?
Yeah, you're probably right there with the Wallers. I've gone for Pungo on top. Steps back in class here. And that wasn't a bad run last start. Bitcoin Baby is going well, and Pungo just had too much to do chasing it. Softer conditions look ideal, and, yeah, clear on top for me.
The 6 is a benchmark 68, 1,300 metres. We've lost most of these now. What are you thinking?
Yeah, the favourite here is short and resuming, and again had some good form up at Queensland and on the Gold Coast before, running a really nice trial here. Prior to this, I think it looks like a clear on top here. McDonald on Waller. Yeah, get on, look on, collect.
Yeah, no, with scratchings, I don't have much to add apart from I think Sweet Mercy can run a race here. Again, perhaps wanting slightly longer, but did some good stuff there, including making Banana Queen have to work at midweek level a couple of times last time in. Yeah, with the scratching sits closer. I think can run over its price of, well, it was $15 before then. It's about $9 now. Obviously, favourite hard to beat, and a lot of the paces come out here. So Javita now will probably get a pretty cruisy time up there on the pace in front of them all. Yeah, not much more there. The 7th and last is a benchmark 72, 1,300 metres, and I'm going to finish up with Capo Strada on top. Should be ridden positively, led up that big $1 billion baby race last time. Gets probably a softer time here, and should run well enough from Queen Una, who broke through, and will probably be sitting right on its hammer. What are you thinking to wrap the day up?
Yeah, I'm going away from that form race. I'm going for Queen Una. I think it can run well. Third up here. Thought it was a good win last start, and I think it will have improved a lot from that. So I'm expecting it can run a really good race. And one for the exotics is number 4 Hooks, resuming here, coming from New Zealand, in the Waller stable, around the $15 mark, I think. Don't let it get under your guard. But number 12, Queen Una for me.
Lovely. Your best in value for progretracing.com.au.
Yeah, race 5, number 5, Pungo is my best, and my value is race 3, number 7, Sailor. Hello, Sailor.
Beauty. I'm going to make Alcyone my best. I am scared of Sailor, but race 3, number 2, drop in grade, hopefully bodes well. And a tricky day for value, I'll make it race 6, number 15, Sweet Mercy. As we head next down south to Ballarat, where we've got a good track, rail true. All things being equal, this track generally gives everyone their chance on a nice long straight. And we're kicking off with a 2-year-old maiden over the 1100 metres. How are you starting the day down here?
Yeah, I'm starting with the Hayes trained Optum. I thought its first up run was a pretty good one behind what looks to be a decent horse in American Zombie at Sandown. Prior to that, ran in some group company. I think it can run well again here today and be hardest to beat.
I'm flipping. I'm going to stick with the Waterhouse runner who led up Libertad and was okay there. Wouldn't say it was a spectacular run, but led it up. I'm saying that form we've seen be franked early on Saturday morning and should hold up here. Terrified of Optum. That's pretty much the race for me. I don't know if there's much from the unraced brigade apart from, I will say, wherever Archo Nacho comes out, has trialled up well, so maybe one for your black book if it pops up on a Thursday Arvo somewhere. I think it'll win and debut, but it's not here, so it doesn't help. Race 2, 1200 metre maiden, comes up next. And I liked the resumption of Subliminal. I think it did some nice stuff last time. Resumed well off some trials. Just had to sit outside lead. Still ran quite well. And a massive gap back to third in that race. I think gets a softer time here. And it's not favourite. We've got a shorty in the race. But I think it's going to give you a great side at $4. And I'll be backing it. What are you thinking, Beaver?
Yeah, same. I found the same horse for the same reasons, and I think the market really has this overs. I think they should be closer in the market, these two. They look at the two main chances. So I thought at this stage $4 was a good bet, and it'll give you a great side around that. Again, first up run was good, and I think gets the right run again here.
Beauty. Race 3 is a 2,000 metre maiden. I tend to avoid betting into these. Because they tend to somewhat be a lottery once you get horses out to this start that can't win races. But I found the form around Winning Bid sort of irresistible here. I thought we saw it chase up Promises, kept to come out and towelled up that field on Saturday. Looks pretty good for this, so I'm going to put in a tip with Winning Bid. Ollie going on. Should be able to roll further forward in this race too, and I think gives you a sight. What are you thinking?
Yeah, you're right. This can be a bit of a lottery, so I didn't spend a lot of time on it, but found a bit of value in number 7, Hawkesbury, from the McAvoy stable. Has been consistent of late. Expect it to finish in the top 3 here and at $10 each way all day.
Beauty. I agree as well. Will run well. The 4th is a 1,400 metre maiden. We've lost a Wolof debutant, which means I've got Valspar on top. Did rail up at Sandown. Coming down from, did rail up in Sandown, I should say. Ollie's on, it rolls forward here and comes out of a pretty strong form race, a form maiden first time in as well. Now third up, I think now ready to win, and not a lot of anything else I wanted to get too excited about. What are you thinking?
I've gone for number 11, Starianne. I thought its first up run was pretty good. Showed a bit of ability when first in work, and that wasn't a bad race. That race where it ran third in. There's some good horses that are in some decent form that will come out of that race. I think it can run really well second up here, and love the Busset and Young stables in a wide race. That's my on top selection.
Lovely. The 5th is a benchmark 64, 1,400 metres. Moody resumer here that you've had your eye on for a bit. Is that how you're thinking?
Yeah, I did have my eye on this last start when it was didn't get a run. So backing up here, gate 2's perfect. Moody, Nolan combination. This looks ready to go.
2 Hopes, it's one of them, and Madame Dugust is the other, who probably should have won with all things being equal. Should actually beaten nice ice pick Nick last time in. I struggled to really split them. I think they should be closer in the market. So I guess by that logic, I'm putting Dugust on top at twice the price. Gentility will run well. Trials were fine. The 6th is a benchmark 64 over the mile, where a bit more clarity here, I suppose, in that I like Lady Court here. I like the fact it sat outside lead first up. I know it dropped out of that race, but that wasn't a bad 70. It's going to get lead of this race. It's also had pulled up with EIPH out of that race, which we see them, for whatever reason, always bounce back well the next start. And I think it runs really well here. I don't think there's too many chases, to be honest. What are you thinking?
Yeah, same. I'm going to stick with Peter Moody again. Was well in the market last start. Had its issues, as you said, and I thought it stuck on quite well. Probably a better race than this, I think.
Easy, yeah.
So I think he can improve, and second up here again sits on pace and going to be hardest to beat.
The 7th is a benchmark 64 as well over the, what are we over here? Over the 1,000, in fact. Let's go for the Moody hat trick because I'm going to stick with the lightly raced Rylov. Did some good stuff last prep. Filly, it's a boy actually, so I tell a lie there. Went out with a win though, more importantly, and has come back and trialled very well. Comes to, benchmark 64 grade where most of these are well exposed, and I think it'll win. So let's tip a nice day out for the Moody stable. You thinking the same way?
Yeah, I am actually 3 from 3 here. This looks like it's got some ability, this horse.
Yeah.
I expect it to run super well. There was a lot to like about its last start win before they put it out. Again, and this is not a difficult race for it to bounce back here. 1,000 metres, it'll burn and win.
Yep, lovely. We're going to wrap up with perhaps less clarity, and that is a 2,000 metre benchmark 64. We've lost a few out of this. I was going to make the case for Sound of Cannons at the price, and just looking now, its favourite coming to debut down from the Sydney stable. Average race, do I really want to bet? Probably not. So for the sake of the record, it was on top for me. What are you thinking? Yeah,
I wasn't overly keen on this race. I went for something a little bit more price in Singer Rainbow from the Smith stable. Won last start, nice little win. In races like this, winning form is good form, and prior to that was around the mark. So stepped up from 1,200 to 1,700 last start and won. So that's a good enough pointer for me. I've got it on top.
Beauty. My best for progretracing.com.au is race 6, number 7, Lady Court, but a good day out for the Moody stable. I'm tipping value was going to be Sound of Cannons at the price. Actually, what I'll do is I'll make it Subliminal, race 2, number 9. I think it should be favourite, so there you go. What are you thinking?
Yeah, race 7, number 7, Rylov for me. That's my best bet. And my value bet is race 4, number 11, Starianne.
Beautiful. Anything in Queensland?
Yeah, I had a couple up at Ippy. Not a hugely confident day for me, but race 3, number 7, Simple Way. I think that'll definitely be winning. And back that into race 4, number 2, Gilipanakis, flying at the moment. And then later in the day, I thought race 7, number 2, Cronenborg could run well.
Cool. Yeah, what happened there last time? Did it fall or something? Lost a rider.
Yeah, just dropped out there, mate. Put a line through that, and it can bounce back today.
Cool. All right, mate. Love your work. I will speak to you tomorrow. Off to do the form for day 2 of the championships now. So we'll chat again soon. And good luck this afternoon, punters.